Hello, I'm Toppy, and today I want to talk about the new gameplay that we saw a couple of days ago for the brand new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare campaign. Now, this is pretty different. It has actually changed my opinion quite a bit on what I think Infinite Warfare is going to be. It's actually made me think it might be a good game because we haven't seen exo jumping. If you remember, back when it actually got announced, when the reveal trailer came out, we saw a clip from the campaign which actually showed again in this lot of gameplay that we saw, where you could clearly see one of the players boosting like you could in Advanced Warfare. This was what mainly made me think this was going to be a bad game, but because we haven't actually seen any of that coming from the main players, it's made me a bit more excited to be able to play it. The reason why this video didn't come yesterday like I was saying it was going to do was because Infinity Ward had a panel at ComiCon where they talked about the full narrative for what the game is going to be based on, and basically just explained a bit more about the theme of space and how it's going to work into the gameplay. If you didn't watch it, I'll just give a quick rundown of what they basically said. So the Earth has been taken by this enemy force, and instead of staying on the planet to defend it, the army have decided they're better off having a base on the moon and having these big aircraft carrier type spaceships where they can then launch attacks back onto Earth to try and take it back. From what they were saying, it's all set in one day instead of being set over a few years or a few months. You're playing for just one day in the life of what is at the start of the game a lieutenant, but then when his ship gets attacked and everyone who's above him dies, he then becomes the captain, but instead of being a normal captain staying on the ship, he actually goes out and continues to fight with all the other players. So this seems like quite an interesting game. Another thing that they talked about was how it's going to flow. You're going to have no loading screens or anything, so when you jump into a ship, you fly the ship from the start, you fly into space and everything, so you don't have any loading screens, don't have any cuts in between stuff, you are playing it all the way. I think this is going to allow the story to flow a lot better. You're going to get a lot more attached to the players, and you're also going to see a lot more detail in the storyline that you would in a normal Call of Duty game, where they might cut out a few days in between each of the missions. Another thing that's kind of convinced me that this game might be good is that pretty much all the fights where you are using your weapon and playing as infantry, you are pretty much always on Earth from what we've seen. Up to now, we've never seen you fighting on a different planet as infantry. When you are fighting off of Earth, you are pretty much always either on your aircraft carrier when it's being attacked, or you're inside of your Jackal, which is your fighter aircraft that you will fight in against the other enemy aircraft. One thing they were saying when they were talking about the Jackal was that you will have the ability to use it whenever you want, and that the game is more based on a decision sort of way. So if you ever looked at Until Dawn when it came out, that's pretty much all it was a film where you would choose each of the different steps the players would take. So if you played the game multiple times, it would lead to different outcomes each time, and I think that's kind of what they're wanting to do with Infinite Warfare's campaign, because they were talking about how you make decisions and you impact the gameplay as you choose those decisions. So if you choose to kill a player instead of keeping them alive, that might change the outcome of the overall game, so then you can replay it, make a different decision and play it again. And what this allows for, linking back into the Jackal with what they were saying, you do have the freedom to get in it and use it pretty much whenever you want within reason, because it obviously isn't an open world game, but you can use it at certain points in the game as long as you make those correct decisions to lead you onto it. But overall, they have sort of won me back. I am wanting to play this game a bit more now that we haven't seen exo jumping actually at all in any of the campaign footage. I don't really know why, because we did see it in the original launch reveal trailer. They obviously can't have changed it. Maybe it was just an ability that they might have taken out of the game because they saw how much people disliked it. Maybe they could have altered it if it wasn't part of the main game, but from what we saw it was part of the main game like it was in Advanced Warfare, and maybe they just aren't showing us that to try and get a bit more hype built up for the game. We're not quite sure at the moment. Hopefully it won't be in the game as a main feature like it was in Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare, but we don't know until we actually get to play it and see more gameplay, especially of the multiplayer. They were making references in the panel towards how the fans had received it already, and they were sort of saying that they knew that we didn't like it and they are trying to win us back. They have kind of made me like it a bit more, and if you want to see the full panel, I'll link it in the description down below, as well as all the campaign footage that came out before that, just because it's really interesting to see what the actors who are playing the main characters and the directors think of the game. And it's about an hour long, so they talk about everything in a lot more detail than I did and cover a lot more points. But thanks for watching. I'll of course be following this up with any more information that comes out before the launch and a lot of gameplay when it does come out. But if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.